I Rock 93.5. It is Ryan hanging here with you, and I'm hanging with Charlie Berens. And Charlie, I am going to tell you before we even start this thing, if the Wisconsin in me accidentally slips out and I throw in a yeah there or an ope, my bad.
Ryan, it's a safe space, okay? So if you want to even throw out a horse apiece or just start shaking bar dice, I'm okay with that. I'm here for you, my guy.
I'm like, okay, I know I have to do this interview to promote the fact you're going to be here in town March 8th at the Adler Theater. But part of me just wants to literally sit down at a bar with you and have an old fashioned, a spotted cow, some cheese curds, and play some dice. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Well, I bet we could do that, and I liked how you slipped that little show promo in right there. Regardless, that was real Midwest nice of you. Thank you.
It was. I got to say before we dive into that more, I told one of my aunts that I'd be talking with you. She's a big fan. She goes, "Oh, he's such a nice boy. You tell him hello for me, okay?"
Well, tell your aunt I says hi too.
All right, let's focus on Charlie coming to town. The tour is going to be here March 8th. I mean, when you come here to Davenport, this is, we're an hour away from Wisconsin. People get the Midwest nice and Wisconsin and all that kind of stuff. But then I see, shortly after that, you're going to be in Boston. Now, when you're in Boston and you try to bust out the Wisconsin accent, they're like, wow, that guy talks really weird.
I don't know. They usually kind of get it to a certain extent, and a lot of the material is fairly universal too. I mean, it's about kind of like from a Midwest guy's perspective. You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of the early stuff was about the Midwest. This was kind of from a Midwest guy's perspective, so it kind of gives you more of a universal base to do some comedy stuff.
Now, when you are traveling outside of the Midwest, do you still end up? Do you see more people that are just from the coast, or do you get those people that originally were from the Midwest and now they're like, okay, we're going to go kind of get out and see one of our own?
Yeah, I mean, you get a little bit of both. You get people from the Midwest and then people who drag people not from the Midwest to the show. And, usually it's like, can I kind of win them over if they don't know who I am or whatever? So I set things up a little bit different and just try to have as much fun with that as I can.
And if they don't know you, like you said, you're doing what you can to kind of win them fast. If they do know you, what is it specifically that they know you from? Because, I mean, you've done a lot of things up to this point already, but what is that one thing they're like, oh, I love you from?
Oh, it's kind of different each time. It's either like the Manitowoc Minute, maybe the Husbands of Target video or something like that. It sort of varies depending on where we are, but I don't know. I mean, really, I started off doing stand-up, so anytime I can get someone to come out to a stand-up show, I mean, that's my favorite way of doing comedy.
Yeah, Manitowoc Minute, I think that was where I first discovered you, and you recently brought it back, and we're going to stay funny here and everything, but you brought it back for a good reason, to help keep a data center from being built.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I brought it back to sort of let people know that there was a data center being built in their town, an AI data center, because these things are so big and so massive and potentially can raise power bills and all that. And people really deserve to know that it's happening and have a voice. And what was kind of happening in Wisconsin and still is, and is happening around the country, is that a lot of times small towns are targeted by big tech companies, essentially because they need a lot of land, but then also there's not really news in these small towns. Things can go under the radar, so you can kind of get your project built and have little to no sort of community input when there's less people around, if that makes sense. So my whole point is to bring it up to people, to let them know what's happening, so then they can have a voice. That's it.
Well, no, and I 100% agree, and I'm going to take that exact what you just said and use that because we have land here in Davenport that was actually sold to Meta for a data center, and it was one of those that nobody had a voice, and the city just did it. Luckily, nothing's there yet, but, there's still a big yet on it. So when I saw you bringing that up, I'm like, I'm glad that people are speaking up about this. So just wanted to.
Well, it's important. It's important to really talk to your local officials and ask them if they signed an NDA. They were signing a lot of NDAs here, and that's where you're either the local officials or the economic development agencies working with the local officials. They're under NDA, so they can't even talk about it, and that's not democracy anymore. That's working for big tech, not working for the people. So it's just something that people should be aware of, going to the local meetings, the city council, common council, whatever it may be, and asking these questions, kindly asking them to the elected officials, because a lot of these elected officials, they don't know much more than the people, and they're trying to figure it out themselves. So, just be kind. Everyone's trying to figure this out, but really it should be a community-wide discussion, not just a few common council members.
See, now I think if you bring that up here at the Adler Theater, March 8th, I think you're going to get a lot of cheers. However, if you bring up the Packers and the Bears, it's going to be a tough crowd for you.
Yeah, I know. We're kind of in enemy territory a little bit over there, aren't we?
It is. It's more Bears territory than it is Packers, but we got a good Packers stronghold here. So I'm just making you aware. When a Bears fan comes up to you and starts giving you trouble, what do you fire back at them?
I mean, I just say, especially this past year, I mean, we had half our team tied behind our back. How are we supposed to, I make excuses. I learned from the Bears fans over years of them sucking that the best thing to do is just make a bunch of excuses. So I've learned from the best, and I got them in my back pocket.
I like that. That's good. All right. So I know originally you're from like the Milwaukee area. Packers, Brewers, Bucks, if you had to choose one that was on top, what is like your number one that you're a fan watching of, keeping up with?
Packers for sure. It's always been my number one, but I like the Brewers too. I like the Bucks too. I go to those games. We have good years and bad years, obviously, but I just enjoy the whole like sports scene in Wisconsin is just fun, and we got to start tailgating at Bucks games. That's the one we don't tailgate at yet, but probably because we don't have enough space downtown to do it. But I like how like not every team tailgates before baseball, and Wisconsin's got that on lock. But everything's just super fun when it comes to sports in Wisconsin.
And none of our teams are moving to Indiana, so we've got that too.
Yeah. Is that official now?
It's not, but the last story I saw was Indiana, put out the big proposal, the Bears really liked it and all this kind of stuff. And then Chicago came out and said, well, if they leave, here's what we can do with Soldier Field. So while Indiana's like ready and like, here's what we're going to do, Chicago's already like, well, here's what we do if they leave.
Yeah, right. So it looks like it's kind of a thing that may happen.
Yeah. So you'll definitely have all sorts of material for that one.
Yeah.
Again,
sure.
Charlie Berens, March 8th, Adler Theater. Now, if you want to get more Charlie and kind of get ready for him before you go see the show, you can go watch a free stand-up special on YouTube. What is Neighborly? What is Neighborly on YouTube?
Neighborly, it's my stand-up special, and yeah, I mean, it's totally free. I would have put it on a streamer, but, my dad wasn't going to pay for it, so if I can't even get my dad to pay for it, how can I expect anyone else? So I just put it on the YouTube channel, kept it easy. And that way, you can own it and not sort of be owned by one of the by Netflix or something on it. So it's out there, and you can give it a watch, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, is that and obviously what you see on Neighborly and what you're going to see on the Lost and Found tour are going to be different things, so it's not like, you're spoiling for you, right?
Yeah, completely different material. Once it's on a stand-up special, we don't do it on stage, obviously, just because you've seen it. It's out there. So, and best part about comedy is sort of the element of surprise, which you can't really do if if people have seen it already.
Okay, before I let you go, I do want to bring this up. Were you nervous or intimidated in any way when you got to sit down with Wolverine?
Honestly, I wasn't because, maybe before I was, but once he sat down, the guy was so nice, such a normal dude that it was tough to really be nervous anymore. And so shout out to him. Really, really kind, awesome guy.
And if someone doesn't know what I'm talking about, you got to sit down with Hugh Jackman. Hugh had the movie come out that was based, in Wisconsin and everything, and you guys kind of just sat at a bar and made drinks and had some chats, which was awesome.
Yeah, it really was. And he taught me how to talk Australian. That was kind of cool. And, at some point it occurs to you, you're like, I'm sitting across from a Wolverine. This is insane. But really, he was just so nice that it was kind of a thing you just sort of blacked out, and then it was done. And you're like, wow, that was fun.
Right. A surreal moment, right?
Yes, surreal. That's a good way of saying that.
So did he teach you well enough that you can go from the Wisconsin to Australian accent with no issues now?
Kinda. Taught me this trick. If I say rise up lights, if I say rise up lights, I'm really saying razor blades. Rise up lights. Isn't that fun? Isn't that a fun little trick? Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Hugh. I appreciate that.
There you go. That's what you got from that right there.
Yes, indeed.
Well, awesome, man. Before I let you go, again, going to be at the Adler Theater. It is going to be a good time with Charlie Berens on March 8th. If you're listening to this, I'm sure I have the link right above it or whatever. But, what do you want to say to the fine people here of the Quad Cities before you come here next week?
I'll bring casseroles for everyone. Okay, casseroles and brandy, I promise. All right? There's no way I would lie about that. Come on out. It'll be a good time. Bring your folks.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night. It's prime rib night.
Yeah, exactly. Come after the supper club.
Perfect. Well, Charlie, man, I appreciate you jumping on with me here for a bit. And again, love what you're doing, love what you've been doing. You're representing the Midwest well, and especially Wisconsin well. And as a Wisconsin guy out of state, I appreciate it very much.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. And you make sure you watch for deer out there.
Yes, always.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Charlie.
See you soon.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.